Behind a dominant performance from their 2025 rookie class, the Arizona Cardinals snapped their 5-game losing streak, beating Dallas 27-17. Is it curtains for K1 in Arizona? Jacoby Brissett, 3 touchdowns. PHNX Cardinals postgame starts now. Hey, welcome in live on a post-game show. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier, #1 in the world, Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star. I'm Johnny Venerable, former Arizona Cardinal wide receiver. Brittan Golden in the house. We got Brack in Arlington, Texas at AT&T Stadium. The Arizona Cardinals throttle. They sack the Dallas Cowboys 27-17, a win that was much needed for this franchise in more ways than one. Did it provide more questions, however, than answers long-term? We're going to get into all of that. I want to remind everybody, the presenting sponsor today, our friends at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the bonus code PHNX365. Choose your offer. Deposit 10. Get $5, $200 in bonus bets. Come back and check us out with Bet365. I believe our parlay hit. But again, regardless, the Cardinals a big hit on Monday Night Football. A game, Brittan Golden, in which I don't want to call it a must-win because I feel like we're beyond that point, but it was a salvation win, a culture win after losing 3 consecutive games with leads going into the fourth quarter. The Cardinals left no doubt in this one. It really never felt close, and it started, I think, with a combination of Jacoby Brissett and the continuation of what he's been doing, and a Cardinal defense that rose to the occasion tonight.
I agree. I think it definitely started with that defense, right? The first possession out there for Dallas, it looked real grim starting. I mean, they ran the ball efficiently. They threw the ball efficiently. They got all the way down inside the 5-yard line. And then all of a sudden, you get them in 1st and goal, and all of a sudden they turn the ball on downs. And then you go down, you get 3 points out of it, right? We were disappointed we didn't get 7, but we got 3.
Yeah.
You got the ball back. You put 7 on the board. Right, and like you said, it didn't feel close by any means.
Right.
I think the closest it felt was in the fourth quarter, right after Dallas scored that touchdown, and it was never really in question. Right, we were still up 10 with time, and there wasn't a lot of time left on the clock. But that's kind of the only time that you were kind of like, oh no, are we going to have another fourth quarter collapse?
Yeah.
But another again, right? The defense stepped up, a lot of big plays. Right, from veterans as well as rookies. Nolen had a hell of a game. Calais Campbell came out and did it again at the end of the game. Sweaty J and Calais both with 2 sacks. The defense definitely stepped up. They put 4 quarters together today, as well as the offense. I liked it.
The rookie class was aces today, and they had to be, right? Like Denzel Burke coming in for Max Melton within the concussion protocol. Mac Wilson Sr. was having a great game. He's out of the game. And that brings us to our, I think, the play of the game. For the love of the play, brought to you by our friends at the Arizona Lottery. Now is the time. Play today. I think it's the play you're talking about. Cody Simon coming in on relief. First of all, the Cardinals had just stripped George Pickens on the previous drive. Couldn't fall on the fumble. Garrett Williams, who played great, came back. I mean, there's so many accolades to give out. Cody Simon coming in for an injured Mac Wilson Sr. What did Cody Simon do at Ohio State? He got his bearings about him. He was a late blossomer. He started to play a lot, though, and he got better and better the more he played en route to being the defensive MVP, I believe, of the national championship game. He comes in, strip of the football in the fourth quarter, and that was all she wrote. Budda Baker, I think, recovered, or Akeem Davis-Gaither recovered. That was the play of the game. Dallas had another down. Dallas was going to potentially kick a field goal. They were going to close it to a one-possession game. We saw how good their kicker is, even though he missed one tonight. That was the play of the game. The player of the game, though, the player that we have to highlight. And again, I've been watching Cardinal football a long time, and I think tonight almost was like an informal passing of the baton. Calais Campbell had 2 sacks. Calais Campbell is the last great defensive tackle for this franchise. It wasn't Robert Kimdichie. No shade. It hasn't been Darius Robinson up until this point. J.J. Watt's come and gone. The Walter Nolen experience is here. He is the player of the game, the X-Factor player of the game. These stats tell the story, but then you watch the game and you saw how dominant 97 was. He was like the best player on either side of the ball for stretches of this game. 1 sack, 2 TFLs. One of the TFLs kept the Dallas out of the end zone on that first possession. A pass defense. Then, after his pass defense, he blew up a run play and freed up another player on a critical 3rd down. He was unbelievable. I have never seen, I've watched Cardinal football my entire life, a rookie defensive lineman have this kind of performance. Like, Calais didn't even start as a rookie, right? Guy, it takes time. There was a reason why a lot of people thought he was better than the kid out of Michigan. His name escapes me. It was Mason Graham. Walter Nolen, where have you been? But thank God you're here. Unbelievable debut.
Oh, man. But like we said earlier, it's better late than never.
Yep.
Right? I mean, it's everything you expected and more from his debut. He came in and right away, right, just made an impact immediately. That first drive, the tackle for loss, that set the tone right there. Because at that point, you know, Dallas is moving the ball. Dallas is in the low red zone at that time.
Right.
He breaks through the line of scrimmage almost untouched and just makes a heck of a tackle too. Because it was an ankle tackle. If he didn't get to that tackle, you know, we might be talking about something different. But I mean, he was outstanding today. Pass defense, all the stuff, right? So I mean, I think you couldn't really ask for more outside of, you know, doing more. But there's just really nothing else more he could have done. Honestly, with the snaps, you knew he was on limited snaps. Yeah, you knew he was on limited snaps as well. So for what he did on limited snaps, right, you got to feel confident moving forward with him.
He was on a snap count, and then, like, I remember, like, yelling at the TV during our watch line, like, when the Cardinals were just getting gashed. I'm like, put him back in the game. Like, I know you're trying to be, you know, sensitive to the injury, and, you know, maybe it's a blessing in disguise they waited so long because he's clearly healthy now. But, like, it was that drive when they were up 10. It was the Cody Simon strip sack drive where he got the sack the play before. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, he dictated the tempo of the game. Every time it felt like Dallas had something going, save for their one authentic true touchdown drive, because it was so early in the game, they blocked a punt. That was their other touchdown. Like, the defense gave up 10 points today. Every time it felt like they had momentum to do more, that Dak was getting his footing and CD and George Pickens were getting it going and Jake Ferguson, he would make a play. I mean, like, to be like 21 years old on the national stage to do this, I mean, like, regardless of how this season ends, one thing has to be certain for Gannon and Austin Ford to return, and I think they are, right? I think they've earned that right. They're going to continue, hopefully, to win games in the second half of this year. One thing has to be undeniable, that you have a team full of youthful players on both sides of the ball that are ascending, right? Like, this year, the division, say what you want, it's a juggernaut. They have to be able to go into January and tell Michael Bidwell, and maybe more importantly, this fan base, look what we're doing with Marv now. Look at Will Johnson. Look at Walter Nolen. Look at the trajectory. Paris. Garrett Williams played like an all-pro tonight. The infrastructure has to be secure, that whomever is playing quarterback in 2026, whether it's Kyler, probably not, Jacoby, a rookie, that this team is talented enough to still contend, to win double-digit games. This is not like 2023 when Keim and Cliff limped to the finish line and they blew up the roster. There's talent here, and I think that's the most frustrating part, Brittan, of what was this losing streak. They had more talent than the 49ers, certainly than the Titans. I thought they had equal talent to Indianapolis at times. But now, with Walter Nolen's arrival and this rookie class, I'm going to say this right now, F it, play them all. Get them in the game. Rotate them, right? Like, Jordan Burch is playing. He's not having the robust sack numbers, but you think about it. Walter Nolen, Will Johnson, Jordan Burch, Denzel Burke, unbelievable. Cody Simon, Keaton Crawford. They were all on display tonight. I mean, it was a complete team effort, and it was unequivocally the best win of the year.
Oh, I agree. I mean, it was they had a good game plan, right? And I think this is, I don't know if this is a byproduct of the quarterback situation or if it's a byproduct of Marvin Sr.'s comments or a byproduct of Petzing knowing he's on the hot seat with
Marv
this
Sr.'s
offense?
the co-MVP today.
But
I
think you have to. I think a lot of us have to credit Marvin Harrison Sr. for the comments made. Right? They were, damning comments, and they needed to be said. Really, ultimately, but it's just kind of a thing of I think Petzing kind of knows he's on the hot seat in this offense, and then you get those comments, and then you get a quarterback in there like Jacoby that's going to stand in the pocket, go through all the reads, and he's going to it's either taking the sack or delivering the football. Yeah. Right? So he's kind of built for this, right? I kind of sad that we didn't get to see an offense like this, with Kyler in there, but then again, does this happen?
Is he capable of doing this?
Is he capable of doing it? Because we talked about it. He's just not the quarterback that's going to stand in that pocket and say, I'm either taking a sack or delivering this football. So
it's clear they didn't build the offense for him. And that's a conversation for another day. Was that a mistake? He can go to another franchise and stick it to the Cardinals, and they'll have to wear that. This is the offense they want to run, and for a 3-game stretch, they're averaging 26 points per game. Now, it gets tougher. They play the Seattles of the world. They play the Rams. But Jacoby Brissett, the Cardinals scored 27 points and really kind of, I don't want to say throttled down, but they were trying to milk clock in the fourth quarter. Probably could have had another touchdown or so. So you're optimistic about that. We're going to come right back around the break. We're going to talk more about the win, but certainly we're going to talk about why Kyler Murray has probably likely played his last game with the Arizona Cardinals. Hit that like button, subscribe here. We got 1,200 people watching live. If you would be so kind, click that join button, become a supporter. Back around the break. It's PHNX Cardinals. Appreciate everybody right now. Appreciate our friends at Three Amigos. Three Amigos Tequila, fantastic. It's an Arizona staple. We cheer, we celebrate hard, and tonight are nights for Amigos Tequila to help keep the mood and the good times going. Family owned and operated right here in the Valley, founded in 1939. It's a staple, crafted in Mexico with 100% blue Weber agave. It's award-winning season for bold, smooth, and made for moments like this that matter, okay? No one likes to drink alone. No one likes to drink sad. How about tequila with a Cardinal dub? Best combination. What makes them Three Amigos different? Well, that's easy. They've got farmers themselves, no outsourcing. They create a true farm-to-glass tequila. So 'tis the season. Tailgate toast, celebrate the Valley's favorite tequila. It's Three Amigos. And I'm going to tell you, Three Amigos is a staple. Circle K is a staple in the Venerable household. I'm going to tell you why. The promotion's going on right now. I brought my son to Circle K over the weekend. He was like, hey, can I just go get a Gatorade? Then we went inside, and it's like, Gatorade, under $2, right? 2 for $4. They got the $3, $4, $5 meal deal. They've got 2 for $1 Monster Energy. Right now, I'm telling you guys, I say this all the time. You laugh at me. It's like Circle K has the best deals right now, unequivocally. Put them up against any brick or mortar store, any big box chain. It's like, if I'm just going somewhere and I want to get some stuff, I'm going to a movie, I'm going out to lunch, I'm hanging with my friends at the park, Circle K has got you covered on top of the savings on gas. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply. At participating locations, visit CircleK.com for more details. Everybody hit that like button. We're going to talk about Kyler Murray. We're going to talk about Jacoby Brissett, which we've spent all week ad nauseum talking about Kyler Murray. And with respect to the players, we're going to keep things on the game tonight for the most part. But it's worth acknowledging. We got to talk about it. Kyler Murray was practicing all week. He's practiced on and off for the better part of a month. He was on the field today. He was running around before pregame. Brack, who's going to join us, said he looked great. Didn't start. And then you subsequently see the output from Jacoby Brissett. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on it. I want your opinion as well. Let us know your voice. Let it be known in the chat. All theories and opinions welcome. Pro Kyler Murray, anti, whatever. I think this is run its course. I think tomorrow will be likely the official day where the team opts to roll with Jacoby. I would contend that there's still a chance maybe we see Kyler again, but it would take a really kind of significant fall from grace from Jacoby. I no longer think Jacoby Brissett is like a bad game away from Kyler. I think Jacoby Brissett would have to play really out of character. This offense right now is humming. I mean, you look at the box score. Marv, we're going to get to 96 yards. Michael Wilson is viable again, 61 yards. ho-hum, Trey McBride, 55 yards and a touchdown, Higgy Bear, 30 yards. I mean, like, Jacoby Brissett was efficient. He dominated time of possession. I think he outplayed Dak Prescott. So I don't think Kyler Murray was outright benched. If Kyler Murray had been healthy all year, Jacoby Brissett would never see the field. But Kyler Murray wasn't healthy, and he had to be removed at least for a game. And it gave Jacoby Brissett a window to show the Cardinals what they were missing in terms of throwing the football from the pocket. So I'm not going to call this a hard benching, but here's what I will say. Kyler Murray was coming into this year, and he knew it. We talked to him. He sat on the show and talked to Bo and I for half an hour. He understood the expectations. And part of those expectations were you had to be available. Baseline, you had to be healthy, right? Couldn't go backwards. He's now missed 3 games en route to likely missing more time. It's out of his control now. Jacoby Brissett is going to finish this year as the starter for this team and likely go into the offseason as the bridge quarterback to the next franchise quarterback for this team. But I don't see a way outside of an injury and just a horrific stretch of play that Jacoby Brissett does not finish the year as QB1 for this team.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you have to go back to what you were saying about being healthy. Like you said, if Kyler never gets hurt and never misses time, we don't have this Jacoby Brissett experiment. You know, I think we're still in the Kyler era, and we're still rolling with that. But him not being available, and then Jacoby getting in the game and doing what he's done for the last 3 games, right? He's come in, he's thrown the ball downfield, he's had success, he's averaging 300 yards a game passing the football. He's got now, 6, 7 touchdowns compared to 1 interception.
7 total touchdowns.
There you go, 6, 7. Boom, I see over there now. I got a 13-year-old. I have to hear it every day. But yeah, he's moving the football efficiently. The offense looks efficient for most of the game, right? I mean, I'm not going to include the fourth quarter tonight because I think you had such a comfortable lead that you were able to kind of. And your offensive line is just the right side of the offensive line is atrocious. There was just not a lot of time. Like they tried to stay with the play action, and it was just impossible because you're just getting abused on the right side of the offensive line.
They got to fix that.
But I think offensively, Jacoby Brissett right now gives you the best chance of winning football games. I think we've said it a million times. He's built for this offense. Right. And
right now,
being able to see it, right? Beforehand, I didn't think, right? I was big. I mean, I still like Kyler to this day. I think, he can have success in an offense that's built for him, but this offense isn't built for him. And we've seen that for the last few years, or the 3 years really, since he's been back. So, I think at this point, Jacoby is the best fit going forward. It's starting. They can say whatever. I keep saying in the chat. They said JG said Kyle's still the starter, but I mean I think that he has to say that. But it's right now. This is the best chance you have of winning football games, and on the offensive side of the football. So I think you have to just stick with that.
Love you, JG. I don't believe a damn thing you say, and I'm saying that lovingly, right? They're living in the now, and the now is telling them that this is the more productive player. And I know that, knowing I don't expect Jacoby Brissett to look like this against Seattle, but guess what? Kyler Murray historically struggles against the Seahawks. I think it's when you play the Jags, when you play, Tampa's defense been up and down, when you play the Bengals this half. I mean, there are going to be games where Jacoby Brissett can keep this going. And here's the most important thing. It allows you to really kind of evaluate the entire team. Marvin Harrison Jr. almost having 100 yards at half hasn't happened before, save for a time or two with Kyler Murray. And now it's Michael Wilson, who people just destroyed this offseason, into this season. People called him a bum. It's we knew he could play. This unlocks what they want to do. And it feels personal. It's not personal. This is football. It's Kyler Murray's being well compensated. He will have a second act. This show, we will actively root for his success. And again, best course of action for Kyler Murray is to stick it to this franchise. I get that. But right now, it's the Cardinals just needed a stabilizer offensively. And it's Jacoby Brissett.
Well, and the way Jacoby plays the football game, right? And I've said this countless times, right? Of standing in the pocket. It allows him to get through all 4 or 4+ reads, because in his mind, he knows I'm either taking a sack or delivering the football.
Or ripping it downfield.
Right? I'm not outrunning anybody. I'm not breaking tackles or making anything wild. He's not doing any of that. So in his head, he knows he's standing there, which now makes it more relevant for the Michael Wilsons and the Zay Jones and Higgy Bears, all those guys to get those, those catches. Now it's spread out. It's not just one or two guys that you're looking at this entire time. You've got a full field, right? You've got 4+ reads that you can find. So, I think, like we said, this offense is built and it's tailored to a quarterback that's going to stand and bang in the pocket.
All right. So Kyler Murray, we're going to talk about trade deadlines tomorrow. I know there are people here locally saying, like, Cardinals are unequivocally not shopping Kyler Murray. I don't know how anybody can say that. Like, come on. Like,
it's not off the table.
No. And I think you're naive to.
The contract is going to have a lot to do with if he's able to be shopped tomorrow. But to say that he's not going to be shopped, I mean, you can say that. But, I mean, it just.
To me, it's like they're going to trade him at some point. For people to say, like, they're not going to trade him tomorrow, come on, turn your brain on. Like,
if they possibly happen.
If they had a trade that they liked, you're telling me they wouldn't trade Kyler Murray tomorrow?
Well, if it's right, and it's going to have to be right, and it's going to have to fit. You're going to have to find a team that's willing to say, I'm going to go in there and take a $40 million contract.
I don't expect it to happen. I expect him to be traded in the offseason. But, like, there's an outlet here locally saying, unequivocally, they would never. Come on. I have a little bit more respect for your audience. It's like, Kyler Murray's contract is a hurdle, and there's not a lot of glaring, like, openings in the NFL that could use Kyler Murray as opposed to, like, in the offseason. Coaches, GMs get fired, people resetting. The hard part's going to be, though, like, how do you navigate this? We got time to talk about there. Here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the other standouts of this game. Let's count some cards here on a PHNX Cardinals post-game show. We mentioned it. Jacoby Brissett, 3 total touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 to Marv, 1 to Trey. That was chalk. And then you got Jacoby Brissett with a rushing touchdown. Jacoby has 7 touchdowns in 3 games to just 1 interception and has been incredibly efficient. He's missed a couple throws here and there. He missed the Marv throw at the end of the game that could have iced it. Maybe missed on a tip ball to Trey McBride. But the good is so outweighing the negative and the bad. Like, I think back to that first possession, even when the Cardinals got a field goal. They got Dallas. They stopped him in the red zone. Jacoby Brissett on multiple 3rd and longs, just hammering the ball downfield to Marv. And it's just like, that's what this offense has been missing. So, again, we've talked about it. He's the right fit right now at the right time. How about Marvin Harrison Jr.? Let's take a moment. His father comes out, rips the team. We all applaud it. And it's like, okay, but is Drew listening? Are the Cardinals listening? Apparently they were. Marvin Harrison Jr., a career-high 7 catches, 10 targets. They did cool a little bit in the second half. 96 yards and a touchdown. The most dominant receiver in this game on either side, and that includes Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. Absolutely undressed, decleated Deron Bland in the end zone, which is going to be a Sports Center highlight. Marvin Harrison Jr., it's like you have to check this box if you're the Arizona Cardinals. Can Marv play? Unequivocally, yes, he can. That was not a question that you had to have unchecked linger into the offseason. And if anything, Jacoby Brissett deserves credit for allowing this to happen. If Jacoby Brissett becomes nothing else than assurance, allowing Marvin Harrison Jr. to shine, he has done his job. I mean, like, Malik Neighbors, he's out. Torn ACL, torn MCL. Joe Alt, he's done for the year. Beat up ankle. Marvin Harrison Jr., the path line is there. Everybody wanted to write this kid off. They called him soft. He couldn't play. He's not a perfect prospect. He's not a finished prospect. We all knew. Everybody in this chat that watched this show, his inefficiencies were largely a byproduct of egregious usage. Whether it was Drew or Kyler or all the above, he could not be assured of targets. And I don't care who you are, Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, Jamar Chase, you have to have targets in the NFL. And look what the Cardinals did. They said, we're going to force feed him the football in the first quarter. He dominated, undressed the Dallas Cowboys. Deron Bland's their number 1 corner. Didn't matter today. He could have been a street free agent. They picked up on the waiver wire. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. can do that every week, Drew Petzing. Quit out thinking it. Let him take over games. I mean, he set the tone, in my opinion, for this game.
He did, right? I mean, the first half from Marv was everything you needed to see from Marv, right?
Yeah.
You got him involved. You got him involved early. You got him a lot of targets, more targets in the first half than he's had all season long, I'm thinking. But it's just to the point where you got him involved. You allowed him to make plays, right? It regressed in the second half, which in a couple of those are throws, right? There was a couple throws, one in the first half and definitely that last one in the second half. They're bad throws by Jacoby. But, I mean, if you connect on those, he's a 100-yard receiver tonight, which I was really pulling to see. You really need to get him over 100, and you need to do it soon. But, right, you saw the upside. And I think the biggest thing, right, that kind of helps Petzing's case in this second half was, like we talked about, coming out and slinging it to begin with. But, I mean, on top of that, just finding ways to get Marv the ball. Like you said, he's your number one. You drafted him to be your number one receiver, right? You've said he's your number one receiver. Like, the targets have to come up. And 10 targets, great. Still not enough, right? I'm still not satisfied with that. That's not enough targets for your number one guy, right? Either him and Trey both need to have between 8 and 10, at least 8 and 10.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think Drew Petzing has quieted some criticism last couple of weeks. They still did not score 30 points, and they were shut out in the fourth quarter. I mean,
second half woes from that offense still, and a lot of it. Don't get me wrong, a lot of it has to do with the offensive line.
Like Jonah Williams. Let's talk about it real quick. I don't know what options you have. I know Kelvin Beachum wasn't great, but I talked to BG about this on the watch along with our guy Espo. I think there is a difference if you outright bench Jonah and you put Kelvin Beachum in there and let him practice with the ones all week. Like throwing him out there as the sixth tackle, he didn't look comfortable. Jonah Williams is going to get Jacoby Brissett injured. You have to bench him. Please, Jonathan Gannon, I'm begging you, get his ass out of the lineup. It wasn't just the sacks. It was the quarterback hits, the TFLs that he allowed. Dante Fowler Jr. completely undressed him a week after or 2 weeks after Micah Parsons basically got a Defensive Player of the Month accolade off of one game against Jonah Williams. It's nothing personal. You take your L with him as a free agent signing, put his ass on the bench. Let us take our licks with Kelvin Beachum. Come on.
Oh, it's bad because now you're starting to know it. And really, Micah Parsons is the one that just showed it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Micah Parsons was going on both sides of the football to start the game. And then he got a little bit of taste of Jonah Williams, and he went to that sideline and said, if I'm in the game, I will be on that side of 73.
Yeah.
Because I can change this game defensively as on that side of the ball. I mean, Fowler did it tonight. Clowney had one of his best games in the last 6-7 years today. God, did it again. 6-7 again. Lord, I'm all in it. Right? But, Clowney had a heck of a day today on that defensive side, but literally just on that side, just undressing Jonah Williams and Kelvin Beachum. But like you said, I think it's to the point. I think if you give Beach an opportunity through a week of practice and say, hey, you're the starter this week, you're with the ones in practice, and just allow it to go. If he gets undressed in that point, then there you go. You got to eat those words too, and you really need. But you have to shop. You have to shop. I mean, I don't know if you can get one by the trade deadline that's going to be worthy enough of that, but
I think you just.
It's to the point where when the season is over and we're sitting here in January, February, that's a top priority.
Yeah,
huge priority. It's got to be a right tackle.
Goodbye, Jonah. Hello, Denzel Burke. Our last number here on Counting Cards. He had one interception to finish the game. I'm going to read you Denzel Burke, who did not start this game. He came in for Max Melton, who is in concussion protocol. Hopefully he's okay. Denzel Burke led the team with 6 solo tackles, 7 total, 2 passes defensed. How about, there's 6-7 again. How about Denzel Burke ISO'd on CeeDee Lamb on 4th down, breaking up that pass, the play in the photo there. And then the game-winning interception, he had a bunch of tackles in the open field. It was like Denzel Burke was the difference between like several first downs for the Dallas Cowboys. I said this on the watch-along. We had Denzel Burke in studio. The Cardinals sent he and Keaton Crawford over in the offseason. We had a chance to have him in the studio and chat with him. And you could just tell it's like that's the benefit from not excuse my language, dicking around in the draft, Steve Keim style. And it's like, let me take a guy from, Panera Bread U or whatever it is because I like his traits. And he plays running back, but he also plays corner. on the guy never plays in the NFL. It's like Denzel Burke was not a need at 5th. It's become a need because of injuries. The Cardinals did not need a corner in the 5th round. They had taken Will Johnson, right? They had loaded up. They had taken multiple corners last year. And there's Denzel Burke. And because Monty Ossenford knows the program, they respect Ryan Day because, I don't know, they churn out studs year after year. The Cardinals are like, let's take Denzel Burke because he's really effing good at football, because he's dominated at Ohio State. He's been in huge, big-time college football matchups. Same with Cody Simon. It's like, oh, man, wow, these guys can play. Suddenly, the stage isn't too big for Denzel Burke and Cody Simon on Monday Night Football thrust into action. That's the difference, and that has been the gap with this franchise. Now, they have to sustain it, and there have been too many lapses defensively as a whole. But this rookie class for 1 week, I mean, it's truly unbelievable what they did. Denzel Burke, all the flowers, could have easily been our player of the game.
I agree. And to come in a situation like that, right? Like you said, didn't start the game, right? A guy gets hurt. It's, hey, next man up type mentality, and said, you got to go in there and you got to make a play. Yep. You got to cover one of the top receivers in the NFL one-on-one and make plays on top of that. And he did that. He came in, he did what he was supposed to do, walks away with the interception to end the game. Right? I think it's all you can ask for from guys that are backing up, and it speaks to the depth that Monty and company have been able to bring in here on that, especially in that room, corner.
Garrett Williams, outstanding. I mean, just had the punch out of George Pickens earlier. Unfortunately, didn't lead to a takeaway. Will Johnson, I know he got beat a couple times by CeeDee Lamb, but I mean, if that's all CeeDee Lamb does, you feel really good about that. I mean, the secondary played their ass off. I thought Budda Baker played his best game. It was good to see Jalen Thompson come back after getting knocked out for a second. We've got Bo Brock at AT&T Stadium. We've got Jonathan Gannon presser comments, all that more. Do us a favor, hit that like button. Get us to 500 likes on a PHNX postgame. We're coming right back. Appreciate everybody watching right now. Appreciate our friends at Crown Royal on November 6th. That's just in 2 weeks, friends. The Crown Royal Purple Bag Project will start at State Farm Stadium. Everybody loves Crown. Crown Royal believes it's not what you have, it's what you give. I believe that too. When it comes to honoring the bravest among us, American military heroes, we want to do more than simply raise a glass. We want to give them something meaningful to thank them for all they've given us. Since 2010, Crown Royal packed and distributed over 1 million purple bags to soldiers and veterans, providing them with essential care and comfort from home to their new home. They continue their commitment, by supporting military heroes with the goal of packing 2 million bags, outstanding, by 2023. Again, for more information, visit them right now, crownroyal.com/the Purple Bag Project. Again, serving across the world our men and women overseas. We can't thank them enough for their kind words and their efforts. Absolutely. We can't also thank enough the husband and wife law team. They're a staple here in the Valley. You know them. Again, Mark and Alexis Breyer are the husband and wife law team. Phoenix is their home when they raise their 8 children and where they focus on their clients and, number one, giving back to the community. Again, a staple of the Valley. And let's face it, right now, after a serious injury, you want to hire them as they focus on the best possible outcome for you. They're going to represent you, and they're going to make sure you're taken care of. That's the husband and wife law team, and it's not about how much money they make in the process. Again, they are different. Their promises are to you. Of course, nobody can guarantee the legal outcome of a case. However, their promises are to make you proud of you and their clients when it comes to the relationship that you have. You can cancel their agreement fee at any time for any reason. Have a consultation with them. You'll receive at least as much in your pocket as they receive in their fee, even if they have to reduce their attorney fees to do so. So you're always getting the hookup. If you have a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first. It's 602-783-8841, or visit their website, husbandandwifelaw.com. Big thanks. Everywhere I go, I see their billboards, I see their advertising. Have not heard anything but great things about them. Get linked up with them today. Jonathan Gannon met with Bo Brock and the rest of the Arizona media. Let's hear from JG.
I'm looking at my watch, and I don't know the last time we won. It's and it falls on me. At the bye, I'm sitting in the shower thinking about it, like, how did I let this happen? But that's what everybody in there takes that attitude, honestly. So we got good guys, we got good coaches. They don't look to point fingers. You just keep plodding along. We hit a stretch of adversity, a shitty stretch. It is what it is, but what are you going to do? You're playing on Monday Night Football in Dallas. Let's go play our game. And that's what they did. So I'm proud of them. Nothing, man. I mean, it's not nothing. They feel good, but they know it's a week-to-week deal. You know what I mean, Cam? It really is. So I'm proud of them for their response coming out of the bye, because they came to work this week. And they always come to work, but it was intentful and it was energized, and they knew they had to play well on Monday Night Football to beat a team that's, super dangerous, good football team. But they know when they wake up tomorrow, we're going to go play a good football team again on the road. So that's what our focus.
You guys are killing me in the chat. The JG shower comments. JG taking like 45-minute showers. JG's showers must be intense. JG got back to normal after his shower. I mean, I love you guys are fantastic. I mean, like that's like the realest. That's the real stuff right there. You got a coach who has been on the precipice of having a winning record this year, having the victories, stolen from him subsequently in several fourth quarters, and they have to earn it. They played their most complete game of the year at the best possible time on Monday Night Football. So we appreciate everybody. We got Bo Brock here joining us live. Looks like on the field, AT&T Stadium. Hot damn, that's a great shot. Bo, we just listened to JG. Sounds like a big sigh of relief. It's just one game. We don't want to exaggerate. But your initial reactions from the head coach after a 27-17 dub?
I think he was trying to keep his composure, not maybe be a little bit more subdued and not put too much into a win after 5 consecutive losses. But love the chat, their response as far as the shower. I know we all had some post-loss showers that just had us in the fields thinking about what could have been, what went wrong. So it's good when you're feeling a little retrospective there. You get a lot done sometimes.
We haven't had a chance to connect with you since the game ended. The most complete performance of the year for the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think that can be argued. Your assessment, you saw it live, you led with it. Walter Nolen, I mean, like, how can you not have shades of the next great defensive tackle for this franchise?
Demon, right? I mean, he was all over the field. He was a stat sheet stuffer. He had the 4 tackles. He had two TFLs, including his first sack. He had that pass deflection, which probably should have turned into something more than it was. But I think he was kind of was he the missing piece? And your question about this, the most complete performance. I asked that to JG. He tried to flip it to me. He said, "What'd you think?" And it's like, you're asking me. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Like, this was the best 60-minute performance by this team in the 2025 calendar. And you're right. It had to come at this point, with a national TV stage and people watching. Like, they had to show that they weren't what their record, shows they are at 2-5. They improved to 3-5. They keep their season on life support. And they did it with a stellar defensive performance where they kept one of the top offenses in the league out of the end zone for the entire first half. Great performance from Nick Rallis in this defense. Of course, anchored by Walter Nolen, Calais Campbell, Josh Sweat, massive game, and then those defensive secondary players.
Well, and Brittan, we talked about on the pregame, like, we know they're going to be quarterback questions. We're going to talk about that ad nauseum. But one thing, a box that JG has to check is you got to be able to hang your hat on a defense that you've invested a lot of premium resources in. It has to almost kind of look like this moving forward, does it not?
No, I agree. I mean, you need a performance like this out of your defense every game for the rest of this season. Really moving on forward if he's going to keep, if this coaching regime is going to stay here in the Valley for years to come, this is the defense that you have to be able to put on the field for years to come. It's got to look like this through 4 quarters, right? Just the hard part that the Cardinals have had this year is being able to sustain really good possessions defensively and offensively. And today, through most of this football game, really outside of maybe a couple instances, but the Cowboys had a few drives that went all the way down into the low red, and somehow you were able to completely stop them and you gave up 10 points offensively, right? And should have been less than that, honestly, for being honest. Yeah. And this is the standard that you need from this defense, as well as this offense. The offense, the standard, the first 3 quarters really is what needs to happen. Yeah, it fell off in the fourth, but offensively, defensively, this is what you have to see moving forward.
Yeah, I agree, guys. Like the opening drive, you got Javonte Williams. Seems like he's getting 8 yards, 9 yards, 11 yards, and they're moving the ball with ease. Dak Prescott's finding his receivers, and they're quickly in the red zone, and they're quickly in a 1st and goal situation. And then what do you get? You get the TFL from Walter Nolen, activated this afternoon, and then you get a pass breakup from Garrett Williams, also activated this afternoon. It's like both those guys are impact players, and they made their impact felt. Like they made the Cowboys feel that on the opening drive, and I think that set the tone. Then they came out the second drive, and they made some big plays to get off the field again. And I just think that these are guys that are going to be able to play and make an impact against Sam Darnold and Seattle Seahawks offense that was rolling last night in DC. These are guys that can maybe make Darnold see ghosts again in just some capacity.
We're going to come right back with Bo Brack. I'm going to ask Bo what Jonathan Gannon said about the status of QB1. It's a looming question ahead of the trade deadline. Plus, we've got Marvin Harrison Jr. presser comments. Hit that like button. We're back. Of course, your super chats as well. It's PHNX. But first, let me tell you about our friends at Monarch Money. Monarch Money keeping my wallet sane, even when I take a couple of tough betting losses tonight. Monarch gives you and your partner full access to a shared dashboard, including linked accounts, budgets, goals, and spending activity all in one place at no extra cost. Fights are the #1 reason relationships fall apart. So no more guessing, no more hiding, no more, I didn't realize we spent that much. Monarch Money has you covered. You can even gain access to a financial advisor at no extra cost. It's a call to action. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the bonus code PHNX at monarchmoney.com. Again, monarchmoney.com, 50% off your first year with the bonus code PHNX. I want to remind everybody, we're away from our home base of Gila tonight for our watch party. We return this weekend, Gila River Resorts and Casinos at Wild Horse Pass. Myself, Brittan, Golden, Bo Brack, we're going to be hanging out. Come watch the Cardinals take on the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to be doing our live show. And if you haven't checked out Wild Horse Pass, check out one of their any 4 locations to experience the best the Valley has to offer. Go all in, 4,500 slots, live table games. Catch the action at the largest sportsbook casino in AZ. Love the food, love the vibes. You do you. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details as we welcome back Bo Brack. I saw some rumblings on Twitter that Jonathan Gannon was asked about what happens at quarterback now. Is that true? Give us a synopsis, because I don't know if we have that bite.
Very tight lip. I believe we do. It was, about 3 seconds. He was asked by Teo Mackey of AZ Central, Arizona Republic, is Kyler Murray remain starting quarterback? And he says nothing's changed. And that's all. He has nothing more to say about that. He didn't want to get into it.
Which none of us believe. Love you, JG. JG, known fibber in the press conferences. And again, this is a JG Love Fest tonight. But here's what I'll say. There's zero chance Jacoby Brissett doesn't play against Seattle. Bog, anxious to get your opinion on this. Like, I was very much of the mindset, you and I, when we did our emergency pod Saturday and the kind of smoke around Kyler Murray's situation right now, you and I thought, it's going to be Jacoby, indefinitely. I not only feel that way now, I think Jacoby Brissett could survive like a bad game or two. Like, I don't think it's necessarily fair at this. Like, does anybody expect Jacoby Brissett to light it up against Seattle? I don't think Jacoby Brissett's an average game against the Seahawks from going Kyler Murray, you're back. Am I in the wrong here?
No, I'm right there with you. I think he could survive that game and a couple other ones sprinkled in, and that's what you're going to get from a guy who's been a journeyman, and it was a guy who's been started the season resigned to backup role. But he's come out here. He's been over 250 yards passing in 3 consecutive performances for the Cardinals offense. That's been over 300 plus yards in total offense since he's also hit the starting lineup each and every game. And what he's got he's got multiple touchdown performances in each and every start. So he's made his case, and he's firmly outplayed the incumbent there in Kyler Murray. And that's, it's unfortunate for Kyler, but I think that the Cardinals now, it's not just a flash in the pan. It's not a sample size. It's one game strung together with 2 games, and now it's a bit of a streak with 3 consecutive strong performances and productive offensive play with Jacoby Brissett in there.
Yeah, I don't see an avenue in which the Cardinals could go back to Kyler Murray outside of a Brissett injury. Which, I mean, with Jonah Williams, we've talked about is a possibility, I guess. What do they do with Jonah Williams, Bo? Like, I know Kelvin Beachum wasn't great today, but I made the argument, like, Beachum, let him start at right tackle and have reps with the ones. I think that's different than, like, putting him out there on an island as, like, the 6th lineman. That looked kind of weird when they did it.
Yeah.
It's tomorrow. Are we finally getting to Jonah Williams benching? What's happening?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think they have anywhere to turn. It's Beach at 35 years old, and then it's, the undrafted rookie free agent and Joshua Fryer, and maybe you could get a traffic cone you could set up instead. I don't know. I just you can't envision it's going to go much worse. BG, I mean, have you ever seen this before? It's like it really, especially at the end of the game when Dallas was ratcheting up the pressure, they were getting home whenever they wanted to. It felt like on that side of the line.
It's bad. I mean, it's almost like I'm out there playing right tackle. That's about the exact same production you would get if I was playing right. I mean, it's not even like he's even trying to get in front of anybody. It's like he's a half a second to a full second late off the line of scrimmage to where that defensive lineman is already halfway past him by the time the ball snapped. I mean, like you said, in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter when Dallas started trying to make that push and the pressure was dialed up. I mean, we tried to run play action, and Jacoby wasn't even out of his fake, and he was getting hit by Fowler right in the face. Like, it's just one of those where, like, and I've seen it in the chat, and we've talked about it. Like, you're putting Jacoby Brissett in a really, really bad situation because you're asking the guy that you're sitting here saying, I want to run play action. I want you to sit in the pocket and go through your reads. But we can't do that. Not if we're getting beat and just that bad. And this is a defense that we're about to see next week that is a very, very solid front seven. Probably the best, if not, it's top 3, if not the best front seven that's in the NFL right now. And if you put that on display again next week, we're going to be sitting here talking about who's going to play quarterback now. Because Jacoby's not going to be able to – nobody's going to be able to survive back there. I don't care who you put back there at quarterback. If Jonah Williams is putting the same stuff on tape that he put tonight, like, let's be honest. Like, the offense looked great, right? And we love the win. We love what we're doing. But Dallas's defense is atrocious. It is really, really bad. And they got home 5-6 times tonight in sacks. And it's just that right side has to be better. And if it's not, like I said, it doesn't matter who you put back there at quarterback. You can put the Terminator back there. He's going to get sacked. Right? It's bad. It's a really bad look.
Jacoby Brissett's been sacked 11 times in 2 games. Of course, that was the Micah Parsons experience, which we shall never bring up again. I'm with you. I don't know what to do. And I know there would be a lot of people, and you're right. Like, Kyler Murray was able to escape a lot of that pressure. That's like the benefit of Kyler Murray. I'm not going to sit here and poo-poo that. He's more susceptible to interior pressure, so he likely has made Jonah Williams look better than even he has before. But I'm just at the point where I'm trying something else. You start with Beachum. You activate Fryer. Jonah Williams, to me, it's a bad free agent contract. I don't think there's going to be an opportunity to trade for nobody's giving up a tackle tomorrow. I could be wrong, but like you have to do something different because I mean, like, Bo, he is single-handedly kind of ruining drives for them. It's got to be disheartening for them because right now everybody else on offense doing their part.
Right. I mean, it's somehow they're able to overcome earlier in the game. Maybe teams aren't dialing up as much pressure when they're not trying to put themselves back in the game. But that fourth quarter, it's just the Cowboys had figured it out, and it looked like Micah Parsons was back on the Cowboys defense for one quarter of play. So they are going to have to find something to do, and they're trying it with Beach as the sixth offensive lineman in there. But it's, now that Jacoby Brissett's rolling, you want to keep Jacoby in the lineup, and he can't take these many hits, as Brittan pointed out. I mean, this guy's just coming unblocked off the edge, just meeting at 7, and somebody's gonna get killed.
We got by the numbers right around the corner. Plus, you're going to hear from Marvin Harrison Jr., his big night. And maybe, did he say anything about his dad's comments? That's coming up. It's PHNX. I'm going to tell you what's a great night. Cardinals dub, Pure Edibles. Combination, let's go. Pure Edibles, found in Arizona and is available in over 100-plus dispensaries statewide, 130 to be exact. They were created in Flagstaff. Now they're right here in Phoenix, Arizona, the home base of the #1 edible company of PHNX Sports and of your household, soon to be. Right now, PHNX is excited about Pure Edibles gummies that aren't covered in sugar like a lot of their competitors. Pure Edibles, full-fledged candy company offering gummies, kicks, chews, hard candy, and the effects are listed right on the tin, so you know exactly what you're getting. Pure offers gummies for sleep support as well as candies with uplifting effects derived from unique cannabinoids such as CBN, CBD, CBG, and marijuana-derived THC. And they're designed to be ripped in half, easily shareable, bit in half. Those are the best, right? It's just like, I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm not getting. I don't want a bunch of chemicals. I don't want a bunch of stuff that's not going to make me have a good time. And Pure Edibles is here to make sure you have a good time. Go find yourself some Pure Edible products from one of over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. Pure Edibles, perfect time to cap off a good Cardinal dub. How about this lid? Speaking of cap, Brandon Bills right now is looking to make your gear stand out apart from the crowd. They've got you covered with the best custom headwear. Love our friends at Brandon Bills. Start your order with their dedicated team to help create the exact custom apparel that you need. They have partnerships with 40 universities, including ASU, U of A, as part of their campus collection, and also with the Phoenix Suns. Ever heard of them? Locally owned here in Mesa, Arizona. Head to brandonbills.com. Use the bonus code BB, PHNX, for 15% off your first order. I just got a U of A hat for a friend. Then they got complimented by that hat, and the person that they saw the hat went and bought it again because, again, it's contagious, it's infectious, it's a lid that I will never stray from again. brandonbills.com. As we welcome Bo Brack back on the show, it's time to go with By the Numbers here on a PHNX Cardinals post-game show, brought to you by our friends at Desert Financial. I think the most damning one here, if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, which we are not, 3 takeaways. And this was the area, Bo, that we talked about in the offseason and really where the Cardinals have failed, because the Cardinals have had games during their 5-game losing streak. More yards, better third down conversion, time of possession, blah, blah, blah. The takeaways had not been there for a team that could not take the football away last year. I guess the magic elixir for takeaways is just this rookie class.
Sure. Yeah, and if you think about it, you had the Cody Simon strip. He probably isn't in there if Mac Wilson doesn't injure his ribs. So he takes advantage of that opportunity. And then Denzel Burke to cap the game with the pick. He's probably not in there without the Max Melton concussion. So the 2025 draft class stepped up in a big way. And oh yeah, that debut of the Demon, Walter Nolen. It's just it was a banner night for that 25 class, but they could have had even more. Like Mac Wilson before he went out for an injury. Like Brittan, how did he drop that pick? Like the ball that was tipped from Dak Prescott, like that ball. Like I think I make that play, but they're able to overcome it. It was a great performance by this defense.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough one, right? It was just floating in the air. It felt like forever. It was just one of those where it was like it was the easiest catch in the world to make, and then somehow turned into the hardest. Which I get it, man. I played receiver for a long time. Sometimes the easiest catches is just. You kind of lose focus. You take your eyes off the ball because the only thing you're thinking about at this point is, can I get in the end zone with this? Can I make a play bigger than this? Which just completely takes your mind off of the actual thing that you need to be concentrating on, and that's catching the football, right? But at worst, you got off the field. You made things happen, but goodness, yeah. You want to see Matt come down with that pick.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals drop, in case you're interested. They started the night 7th. In the draft order. They have dropped to 12th. So keep an eye on that. Because again, Cardinals losing record. We will bring that up from time to time. But here's what I'd like to do. Never talk about the draft for the rest of the season because it means the Cardinals are playing winning football. And again, I think it's going to be very difficult, gentlemen, for this team to turn around and beat Seattle in Seattle. but I don't think that we should lose sight of the fact that they've made progress. They look like a better team post-bye. And, Bo, you mentioned it. Like, what happens if Walter Nolen is just the missing piece? What if he is the guy that they have been waiting for? Because I look at the rest of the schedule, and it's like home against the Niners, home against the Jags, at Buccaneers, yes, against the Rams twice. But then you got at a Houston team that's middling. Falcons at home, they're bad. And then, of course, the Bengals on the road, like, they're at 3 wins now. I think to get to feel good about this year and where they're trending, I think you got to get back to 8. Are there 5 more wins on the schedule, do you think, Bo?
If they play like this defensively, I think anything's possible. And obviously the offense is trending up. It's over 25 points per game on average the last 3. If that's who they can be, I think that they have, just like they've done even during the losing streak, they can be in every game. Can they make the plays like they got at the end of this game where Cody Simon strips the football away? Can they make those plays? But having players like Garrett Williams, having players like Walter Nolen added to the equation, it seems like, hey, those are going to be some guys that are going to give you the ability to do so.
Yeah, I mean, you need to play your youth. You need to play players that you be able to go to Bidwell at the end of the year and say, like, we're trending up. Look, these are staples of our program. The Walter Nolen piece is such a point of emphasis. It's just because they haven't had anything like that. It's a unicorn. Darius Robinson does not look like that guy right now. No knock against him. Give him time. Can he develop into a contributor? Can he turn into a Zaven, maybe a little bit better, where you're like, I can count on you. You're a rotational guy. Walter Nolen is a blue chipper. Will Johnson's a blue chipper, right? These are guys that you expect to carry this franchise. So, I mean, it's
Marvin
promising.
Harrison Jr.?
Blue chipper. Let's get to Marvin's presser. I forgot about old MHJ. So much going on. Here's Marvin post the game.
Yeah, I think everyone has their own opinions, and I think just the biggest thing is, anytime someone speaks on something, you just don't want it to be directly from the player. So just everyone has their own opinions, and I think in his article, he just said that's how he feels, not how I feel. So I think that's just good to mention because I trust in all the guys. I know everyone works really hard throughout the week to be successful, not only for me individually but as a team. So I think I just try to do my part, be accountable on my end, do my best. Yeah, we lost 5 in a row, 6 in a row, 5 in a row. So definitely needed this one. We got a really big one next in Seattle. They're playing really good football right now. So go on the road and get a win there can be very tough. I knew we'd be aggressive in the first half, especially trying to give me the ball a little bit. So obviously, it's music to my ears, and I'm excited about that. But it's a lot of credit to the O-line, and I think they did a good job of giving Jacoby enough time to make some throws. And then obviously Jacoby did his part as well, putting the ball where it needs to be. And then I just got to finish the play. I think as a receiver, that's something that you kind of take for granted. All other guys have to do their job before you do yours. So they did a good job today.
Marvin Harrison Jr. thoroughly dominates the Cowboys in that first half, sets the tone. I mean, just the confidence, Bo, that you saw from him as the game progressed, where it's like they couldn't stop him, seemingly on third down. I mean, that's going to give any player confidence. It didn't have to wait, a quarter and a half for his next target.
Yeah, he got into that flow state early that he's talked about, and I want to get back to that first clip. He's talking about the comments from his dad, Marvin Sr., in the Josh Weinfuss ESPN article today. He said that his dad's opinion is not the same as his, but also revealed in all of that, Jacoby Brissett, I talked to him also at the podium today, Johnny. I don't know if we played it, but Brissett said that they tweaked the game plan. They tweaked it before the game.
All right,
they emphasize that.
I wouldn't say switch it up, but he more so kind of got to Marv plays a little bit earlier than I kind of not expected. But he was like, if we're getting one-on-ones, then we like Marv and our outside guys. And I think it was the first third down or something like that. It was like one-on-one, and I was like, this, all right. And I mean, he just made the play, and once he made that play, he came back to the huddle, and I saw it in his eyes that he was ready to go.
All right, we're going into overtime to talk about that. Here we go. OT, baby. Hit that like button. Welcome all of our friends on our many streaming partners. Jump on over to YouTube, PHNX Sports. We got 1,200 watching live. So am I to understand that they're like, hey, revelation today, Marv Sr.'s upset. So maybe like that. We're saying that like tongue in cheek on Twitter. Is that really what happened with the Cardinals, Bo? Is that what you're saying?
So I asked Jacoby, I said, what got Marv going early and often? And like, when did he create those opportunities? And Jacoby joked, he's like, when he put his pads on, he said that he saw a more motivated Marvin Harrison Jr. And then Jacoby revealed, and we'll have this clip up at PHNX_Cardinals, is that, there was a change as far as the approach, the game plan. And, Jacoby I think he tried to backpedal a little bit, like, hey, it's just when he had the one-on-ones. But I think, there was an emphasis, guys. There absolutely was. I mean, he set a career high right in targets today and nearly went over 100. He had that touchdown where, I think he should have retired Duran Bland on that play. Nearly did. He fell down. So, I mean, I don't think they meant to reveal that, but that's now kind of public knowledge.
That's where like, hey, Drew, we're trying to wrap our arms around you and embrace you. And it's just like, then it's just like confirming what most of us assume, like, hey, this was a consistent effort to not throw him the ball. Whether it was like direct or indirect, intentional, unintentional, like good coordinators and good head coaches, like, don't wait until 24 games into a player's career to be like, oh yeah, maybe 4th overall pick should get some targets.
Yeah, I think that's why, like, even with the success that this offense has had the last, 3 games, right? And I don't want to say it's success because you've only won one of them, but like in moving the ball and getting your playmakers the football, right? It's to the point where it's like I still don't think like Petzing's the right fit to be the OC here. Right. But the key is, and the sad part about it is, why did it take Senior's comments to get your number one offensive player the football? You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't make sense. So for me, it's just I don't understand that. I can't get behind you as a coordinator and say this guy needs to stay, this guy needs to be here, because we've seen almost 3 years worth of just bad stuff as an offensive coordinator, bad play calls, bad situations, right? But it's to the point where, like you said, it kind of sounded like Jacoby backtracked a little bit after he basically said, yeah, we tweaked the game plan because we didn't want to hear any more, and the OC didn't want to hear any more damning words against his offensive play call, and it works. So it's like, what have you been doing for the past 2 seasons? Right? You've had this talent at receiver, and you saw what happened. You got him the ball early. Things started happening. He started building more confidence. You saw a lot more hands catches. He's going up and grabbing the football. He's catching a hitch route and turning it into a 20-yard gain where if he doesn't step out of bounds, it's a 25 to 30-yard gain right there. I mean, you've got the offensive playmakers. You've got them. Get them the football.
Use them.
Like, you can't tell me that this is we just can't. No, this started at play calling. This is the play caller's fault because he did not find ways to get his playmakers the football.
I mean, like you saw Caleb Williams is being like designed by Ben Johnson to have like gadget receiving touchdowns. It's like the play callers matter in the NFL. Yes. They matter. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. But the most important thing is like the destination is like we've arrived now. We've seen this now. Don't go backwards. I don't care. You're playing Devin Witherspoon or, Peak. He
can't have less than 10 targets next week.
No, they're not good enough, by the way.
Because if that happens, you got to go. You got to go now because we've saw what happens when you do it. When you get your playmakers involved, we see what happens.
If I'm Drew, I'm like, I'm auditioning for my job. Like, why? It's
Trey
in your best
McBride
interest.
as well, though. Trey McBride has to have 8 to 10 targets again, too. This is one of those where both of those guys need to see the football. There needs to be double-digit targets for both of them.
And you've got a quarterback now that you feel like can facilitate it there. Let's talk quarterback real quick, Bo, and then we're going to get to your super chats. Appreciate everybody's patience. What happens tomorrow? Gannon's going to meet with the media. They're on a shortened week. Are they going to continue this song and dance? Kyler Murray may or may not practice. You expect much of the same?
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I agree, Brittan. It's going to be the status quo from what we witnessed this past week, and it's going to be like, if he's healthy enough to play, he'll play, and that'll continue. Yeah, that'll continue.
Liar.
You have to, but again, you kind of have to go with that. Right? You got a quarterback that you're paying $40 million, and he's going to be standing on the sidelines. Right?
Shut him down. Put him on IR.
I mean, yeah, that's the only thing you could do, honestly. But then the problem with putting him on IR is if Jonah Williams gets your quarterback hurt.
Right. Slovis time, baby.
What if they acquire one tomorrow? What if they get a backup and then
bring back Dobbs? Have Dobbs back up.
I've seen all in the chat. You got to go just use Kyler and get Shador and a right tackle from Cleveland.
That's a fresh hell I never want to experience. Jacoby Brissett, 8.4 yards per completion tonight. Hot damn. He is one of the best third down quarterbacks in the NFL since he's entered the starting lineup. Your super chats, you've been patient. Let's jump in. A couple people down liking the show as we talk Jacoby Brissett. 199. First super chat. Huge fan. Let's effing go. Walter, love it. Great first super chat, Juan. We appreciate you. This is a Walter Nolen Stan show. Thank God. Thank God he can play. I can't sit here and talk about another first round miss. We needed that tonight. Cardinal fans deserve that.
He starts. He's a starter already. He's right out there with Calais. That's their top defensive line duo.
He
right
should
there.
be. After what I saw tonight.
Also,
there's no reason why he should not be a starter on that.
Calais with 2 sacks tonight. Is Calais gonna F around and have like 10 sacks in his last year?
What's he at right now?
He's got 5, and we're at the midpoint. So can he get to 10?
Damn.
5 more.
Here's another stat, by the way. Sweaty J isn't perfect. But, man, he's going to have a career high in sacks this year. His career high, by the way, is with JG, 11 sacks en route to when they went to the Super Bowl. Vic Fangio, say what you want about him, stymies pass rushers. Remember Sweaty J? We're like, where is he? He had 8 sacks last year. I mean, Sweat was fantastic tonight.
Does he have 7?
7. He had 3 quarterback hits tonight. I'm sorry. He had 5 quarterback hits. You beat the shit out of Dak Prescott. I mean, it was just like, it was evident watching that game. Josh Sweat, chef's kiss, has been worth the money. I know people are like, oh man, he's not Chandler Jones. He was a free agent signing, and he's going to be on, potentially the Pro Bowl this year. Fantastic. Sean, back-to-back, 199. If the Cards go into Seattle and win, they are back. I agree with that. And then 199, Walter Nolen is as advertised, 100%. We'll talk about Seattle this week. I love the short week. I can't wait to be back hosting this post game with my 2 bros here. Fleets 831. F a running back trade for a right tackle is needed.
I just don't know. Like you said, we talked about it. I just don't know if there's nobody that's really just like nobody's willing to part ways with their right tackle right now.
Here's what I know. Washington put out kind of a feeler. They're shopping a couple linemen. My buddy Nick Algretti, who started for them last year, he plays guard. He can also play tackle. But again, I don't know if you could find a street tackle that you would feel great about. I also think, by the way, might be a byproduct of Justin Fry. That to me, but Clayton Adams wasn't great tonight either. I'm glad that's not a talking point. You heard 33, $9.99. Thank you so much. You heard. Make Jacoby QB1, just needs a little bit more learning to read the defense. I think Jacoby Brissett is quarterback 1. I mean, we would beg for Kyler, average 2 passing touchdowns a game, finished the year with over 30. Jacoby Brissett had 3 touchdowns tonight. He is averaging over 2 passing touchdowns a game. That's enough. I'm not ever going to sit here and demand Jacoby Brissett be something that he's not. But if he sustains this where it's you're manufacturing scoring drives. You don't really have a run game. You don't have James Conner or Trey Benson, and you're throwing multiple every game. He's Trey McBride has 4 touchdowns in 3 games with him. I mean, can't ignore it.
I think he's reading the defense very well. I mean, he sits back there and he's letting plays develop. Right? I think the only knock that you have right now on Jacoby is the errant throws at time, right? There's 2 to 3. There's 2 to 3 just errant throws in every game that he's come in, and it's just bad like that. I mean, the one that there was 2 to Marvin, one on the sideline in the first half, right? He's open. He ran a great route on that comeback route. If you hit him, it's a first down, and you're still on the field. And then again, at the end of the game, right? If you make that pass right there, he's wide open in the middle of the field on that curl comeback, whatever it was, right? You make that throw right there and a catch. Now you still have the ball and you're able to run the clock out, and then you don't even have an issue with is Dallas coming back right now.
But he's a backup, and and like Mac Jones is doing the same thing, but they're winning games. Like everybody knows what Jacoby Brissett is and isn't. Can Jacoby Brissett get you to a first round or second round quarterback and keep this team viable? That's the question now. Because I want to jump ahead before Minsky to this next super chat. Alberto saying, $9.99, the K1 era is over. Respectfully, it feels that way. Like Jacoby Brissett needs to be looked at in context. Like, can he save people's jobs? Can he get the playmakers juices going? Can we check some boxes? That's Jacoby's job, and he's doing it masterfully. I mean, like, if he plays well in Seattle this weekend, Bo, like, what more can you say?
Yeah, 250 and 2 touchdowns. That'll do, right? And that's what
do
he's
that every
averaging.
week.
Yeah.
That'll do. Minsky, $9.99. Complete proof for me that Putz has used Kyler Murray as a scapegoat. He never let Kyler Murray loose like Jacoby Brissett. My prediction is they bring back Putzing and Jacoby Brissett. Struggles early, and we get the same dire stuff as before. I am of the mindset I still don't believe Drew will be back. I think Drew is an expiring contract. I think that I do think like the Cardinals are gonna have some tough times offensively. They're not a finished product. They play the Rams twice. They play the Seahawks. Like, unless they continue to put up 26, 27 points per game, there are going to be some Sundays here. That's why it's fun to enjoy these. That the Cardinals offense is not going to look like this. The Packers and the Colts defenses, I think, are good. They're going to play some elite defenses in the second half.
Well, really, I mean, what we're looking forward to next week is this is going to be probably the best defense you play.
Yeah.
That's coming. Yeah. That's coming this next week. And it's just one of those things where I agree to an extent with that super chat of I don't think that Petzing opened the playbook at all for Kyler. I don't. Not like it is right now. But then again, he knows he's on the hot seat in times, right? So there's times where it's like, hey, what my game plan was to start the season is establishing a run game and doing like that, right? It's not working. And it's been egregiously worse than it was last year. Last season, we saw them able to generate a run game. They were moving the ball, running the football. You didn't have that this year, right? Again, you lost Clayton Adams. You lost the guy that was engineering your run game last year, but you didn't have that. And then now you're to the point to where we know we can't really run the ball efficiently.
Right.
So now it's to the point that we have to let it fly and we have to let it go downfield. But the difference is Jacoby's making those plays right now, and he's throwing the ball well for the most part, and he's given multiple guys opportunities, right? Michael Wilson's showing up, Zay Jones is showing up, right? At times, it's not just Marv and it's not just Trey McBride. Now there's multiple guys that you have to have to worry about.
Yeah, be cognizant of. Ben, $2. CJ Bailey from MC State will be available in 2027. That's an option. The new regime, $4.99. My concern is Jacoby's performance securing a Petzing extension. Let's cross that bridge when we get there.
I just don't see that.
I think Drew's still got shortcomings, no pun intended. I'm 5'6". I think Drew needs, like, they didn't score any points in the fourth quarter. We got to be able to look at the whole picture. Gannon's going to do that too. I don't think Drew's getting fired in season certainly anymore. No. But like the pass protection with Jonah, that's on Drew too. Like you got to clean that up. And like again, like I don't expect Kyler Murray to play again. But like, what happens if he does? What does that look like? If Drew can keep the train on the tracks for the next 9 games, we'll have an idea of whether or not he should be back. Like I think if there's any questions, the Cardinals will probably say this is a critical year that we have to give the fans not a scapegoat, but like Kyler alone isn't going to be enough for people to be like, I'm bought back in, season tickets, everything. Gus, $4.99. BG, from a player perspective, what's the locker room look like during a quarterback situation like this?
Offensively, it's kind of hard to be. I don't think anybody's upset because they're having success. Receivers are having success, right? Tight ends having success. You're moving the ball downfield. You're throwing the ball. Of course, if Kyler's your guy, and that's your guy, you're gonna be, not that you're gonna be mad about it, but you want to see your guys win, right? But as long as you're having success, I don't think it's really a big deal, right? If we would have had a situation where Kyler was throwing for 250, 275, 300, he's throwing for 2 touchdowns a game, and then he got hurt, and then the backup came in, and you don't go back to him, now there's a problem. But in the situation you've got right now, Jacoby's playing well. And he's running the offense efficiently, and they're putting up 300 yards as to where we didn't have a 300-yard game for what, 4 or 5 weeks, right?
Not all season. Kyler didn't have one.
4 weeks.
Yeah,
you didn't
4
have
weeks.
a 300-yard gain, and now you're doing it. So.
Oh, the Titans game. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't think that there's a situation in the locker room and the quarterback outside of, there's going to be certain guys that have been around, that have been here with Kyler, that are, it's not that you're upset because, again, like I said, offensively, as a receiver standpoint, you got to be excited right now because now you're relevant. And it's not just 2 guys that are relevant. Like, the entire receiving corps is relevant that's getting in, right? Your second tight end with Elijah Higgins is catching passes. Michael Wilson's catching passes. Zay Jones is catching passes. Greg Dortch is, everybody's involved now because like we said earlier, now it's to the point to where you've got a quarterback that knows I'm either throwing the ball or getting sacked. I'm going to go through each read. I'm going to let this play develop, let routes develop. I know I'm going to take a hit, but I'm going to try to deliver the ball in the process.
Dana, $5. When Drew switches to 12-13 personnel and D-line is running back slap at the snap, I die a little inside. Yeah, I do too.
Can't run 13 personnel and not be able to block anybody.
Jonathan, $4.99. This defense allowed only 10 points to the second best rated offense. But I think that's the story tonight. As well as Jacoby played, I think the defensive performance was fantastic.
Yeah, you subdued a really good, stout offense. CD was quiet the first half, so was George Pickens. They took the running game out of the equation after the first drive, and Dak struggled, to find open receivers. So, yeah, and bravo to Nick Rollison crew.
You made the point, too, on our show. Like, this is where they turned it around last year. The defense got it started, but can't have lapses. Got to be consistent. Lily Pad, $4.99. Thank God Cards won tonight. I'm in Kent State's marching band. Oh, that's awesome. And I've been looking forward to Maction more than Cardinals football recently. How about it? A little Maction action? Love to see that. Thanks so much, Lily Pad. Enjoy a great year with Kent State. Robert, $2. JV should chug a beer for every new member. I'm sipping this crispy Diet Coke instead, but, I got to drive home. But you'll have to do for this. Our Arizona Artichokes, $4.99, Bo's favorite. Without the fraudulent blocked punt, the Cowboys were held to 10 points. Great job by the defense and overall by the team. Absolutely. Well said. Taco Corp, friend of the program, $4.99. Nailing this draft class doesn't do it justice. Kyler needs to be a Viking tomorrow. You get more for him now and no reason to keep him here. Bo, I went off on the local media who were adamant that Kyler Murray isn't being shopped by the team. Okay. I believe that Kyler Murray would be shopped in the right circumstance because, of course, they would, like any competent franchise. It's more likely that there's just not an obvious trade partner. But I think you're naive to think like they're not taking calls, they're not casually making calls. You're not doing your job if you're Austin Ford, and that's happening.
Right. No, I think that is to just kind of say, hey, it's a moot point. There's no way. The way things have transpired, it's just to kind of check in. I mean, is it unlikely? Yeah, is it unlikely that they pull it off? Like there's so many variables that you're up against there, but to just shut it down, you're not paying attention.
Hey, I know they're not talking to anybody about anything ever. Great, congrats. Trevor, $4.99, back in AZ from Disneyland. Hell yeah, I wish that was me. Told y'all I bring back some good vibes. Suns beat Spurs. Cards finally win. U of A upsets Florida tonight on the hardwood. Then how about this? ASU and U of A both winning football this weekend. Good time to be a Valley sports fan. We just need to hold this moment tight.
Baby. At least for a week. It's been good for a week.
Is this peak? Is it ever going to
peak at 3-5? That's
peak Arizona sports performances this week.
Bees, $2. Bland got blended by Mozzie Marv Blue Chipper.
I don't think blended does it justice. That boy needed to just stay on the sideline after. I would have, if that was me, Pride have been hurt so bad, might have faked an ankle injury or something. I might not have been able to come back.
I despise the narratives that like Marv couldn't play or that he was a bust. I'm like, Cardinals can't be ruining another player. Don't let that happen. And thankfully, like, the league knows now. Everybody saw that tonight. Yep. Dude can play. Dad's drinking again. $4.99. Walter. This is another great highlight that we pointed out on the watch party, Bo. Walter made Booker hold his pocket. If this version of the D-line shows up next week, we can definitely win. We all saw how Darnold played with interior pressure. I agree with that. How poetic was it, Bo, that some of the fraud local media who are adamant the Cardinals loved Booker, the guard from Texas, and we were very much on the train like, no, they're going to go best, defensive lineman or maybe a tackle, that Walter Nolen completely undressed Booker for the Cowboys, destroyed him. I thought that was fantastic.
No, it was great. It was poetic, and it showed, what the difference is as far as how each position impacts the game. When you get a good player on either side, like who's going to be kind of the difference maker as far as a win or a loss.
Yeah, take those guards in the top 12. I'm sure that'll work out. Dana R. Kyler looked great. 1/4 of 11 personnel. Then we stopped using it. Jacoby, Kyler might be gone, but it was the offensive scheme that needed change, and it still reverts with a lead. Yeah,
I agree a lot with that. And
I'm sure Kyler knows that too.
Yeah. I think the offensive scheme the way it has changed has a lot to do with the success that's happened right now. On top of the play that Jacoby, I'm not going to take anything away from how Jacoby's played the game. He's played really good football. He's taking care of the football, right? He's delivering the ball. It's just to the point to where I agree with that statement. This is not the same offensive scheme that we saw the first 4 weeks of the season.
No, and
nowhere close.
But this is what Drew wants to run, and Drew has JG's ear and his trust, and they're going to run what Drew wants to run. And there's going to be a coordinator or a head coach that takes Kyler Murray in the offseason if they trade for him, and they're going to build an offense for Kyler Murray. And I expect Kyler Murray to succeed again at some point in the NFL. Trenton Smith, $20. Thank you so much, Trenton, for the support on that level. Why do I get the feeling that we're going to get a shitty return for K1 if we trade him in the offseason? He hasn't been playing well, and teams know the Cardinals are going to be trading for him. Thoughts? I mean, that's the toughest question. Trenton, Bo and I have been talking about that ad nauseum. We talked about it on our emergency pod Saturday. I think at this point, you take what you can get. You trust Monty Ossenford. You don't need picks to rebuild this franchise. You'd like some additional ammo to get up and get a quarterback if that's where you're drafting. Let's see where they're drafting. I think the biggest thing is this marriage, this partnership feels like it's organically coming to an end. And so maybe you do right by Kyler, you shop him around. Trent, I'm at the point now, with his contract, I think any trade is a win. I'm trying to get to a point where, because they're soft benching him or whatever this is he a tradable player in the offseason? I think so still. But for people are dogging him right now. The perception, and I think that's the kind of the beauty of what Gannon's trying to do is you can't publicly shame him, because then you lose all credibility and all leverage, and the good teams are just going to wait for you to cut him. So for me, it's I think you continue to talk about how great of a teammate is, and maybe you shut him down because of the foot. And then in January, you announce that we're going to explore all options, and you try something. There's going to be new head coaches and GM combinations that could look to pair with him. Tomorrow will be difficult, but we'll see how this works out. They couldn't trade D-Hop a couple years ago. It would be disappointing if they can't get anything for a player that, could start for a lot of franchises. Shane, $5 support. Appreciate that. Theo, $4.99. Appreciate that. Start Kyler for Seahawks. If he doesn't work out, we have our answer. They're not going to do that.
I don't think they do that. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to do that right now, especially with, how things are going right now. Until Jacoby shows you that he can't lead this offense, I think this is just the route you have to go.
Pick and Spreads, friend of the program. I know we don't want to talk draft, but 2026 first-round quarterback, absolutely.
Right
tackle, quarterback, maybe another wideout, one of the big three on offense. Gatorade, man, $4.99. I think we should give Kyler one more chance and Jacoby on standby if things go wrong. Maybe Kyler learns something while watching Jacoby. I think that time has passed. I think if Jacoby Brissett had been lukewarm tonight, if he had turned into a pumpkin, if he turned the ball over, this is at a point where, this is just undeniable.
The only way you switch right now, is if next week Jacoby just comes out in the first half and just gives you 3 bad interceptions, and it just looks abysmal.
But is anybody expecting that though?
No, but at the same time, you would have to. You're sacrificing a a hat right now if you have two starting quarterbacks suited up. Essentially, that's what you're going to have. So it's either going to be the same situation. We'll see what happens tomorrow, obviously. But I think it'll be the same type of situation as what you see tonight. I think you'll have whoever our other backup was tonight. And I don't know. I mean, if maybe Kyler Murray's dressed out, maybe he's not. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm going to read some statistics here before we get out of here. Kyler Murray, in 5 games started, has 962 yards passing, 6 yards of completion, 6 touchdowns, 3 picks. Okay. Jacoby Brissett in 3 games started. So 2 less games. 600 yards passing, 7.4, almost a yard and a half more per completion. 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a quarterback rating of almost 100. Kyler Murray's quarterback rating is 88. So Jacoby Brissett in 2 less games has the same amount of passing touchdowns and almost a yard and a half more per completion. And the yards thrown is, closing in. I mean, it's just Kyler Murray's got the edge. He's ran for some yards, so I don't want to discredit what he's done on the ground, Bo. But this just, tomorrow, you expect much of the same, but this just feels like the Kyler Murray experience is coming to an end, barring something unforeseen. Now, let's fast forward. Tomorrow, as we reset here, Arizona Cardinals beat the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Bo Brack, Johnny Venerable, Brittan, Golden, Bo. We look ahead to the trade deadline tomorrow. What moves, if any, could the Cardinals make as they have new life in the 2025 NFL season?
Yeah, there's a couple areas to look at. And then, I think the number one glaring issue is the right tackle spot. But that's a supply-demand issue, as we pointed out on the post-game show. It's like, if you have one, you're not going to get rid of one. So that's the biggest issue there. And sticking point, if you're looking at other positions, I think the Cardinals could probably add maybe blocking tight end to help maybe with that. Could they add, on the defensive side? We'll see what happens with Mac Wilson in the rib issue. And then could they add a backup quarterback if maybe they need to turn to the IR for Kyler Murray's injury? I think that those are all the options that the Cardinals have as far as tomorrow goes, or as far as Tuesday's NFL trade deadline.
Yeah, Brittan, you look at right tackle, we've talked about it. Do you think a running back addition makes sense? Because, again, maybe the best way to kind of combat what's happening with Jonah Williams is be able to run the ball a little bit more effectively, get a power back in there. I thought DeMercado was good. Bam Knight's been solid, too, and you're going to get Trey Benson back. Do you think this team warrants a trade? Because I do think JG and Monty having security with this team means that they could throw a late-round flyer on a tradable back.
Oh, if there's a back and it makes sense in a trade, I think you have to go ahead and go after it, honestly. And at the same time, I think it's probably not going to be a starter. You're not going to get a starting right tackle. Not anybody's starter right now.
Right.
But if there's somebody on a practice squad that you like, or there's somebody that's in a backup role for a team that you like, at this point, really, it can't get any worse, is what we're saying. Like, it can only go up from where we're at. So, if there's an opportunity to, grab an offensive lineman that can help you out at right tackle, right, or an opportunity to get a running back, right, in a trade, right, if it makes sense and it's the right move money-wise, trade-wise, if you can find you a running back and an offensive lineman by the deadline tomorrow, I think you have to try to make that move.
Yeah, I think to both of your points, if it makes sense, you've reunited this fan base at least for a week. Seattle's a tough place to play. I don't think what you're doing is sustainable with Jacoby week to week, and not in terms of his production, guys, but just like the amount of passes that he's being asked to throw. Like his completions tonight, I'm going to pull this up. Jacoby Brissett against the Cowboys threw the ball 31 times. He threw it 36 times against Green Bay, and he threw it 44 times against the Colts. Like, I love the passing game now, stretching the field, but there's got to be a little bit more balance. And I do think, like, you get a bigger back here to kind of wear teams down if there's an opportunity. I don't think they trade for Breece Hall, but I think another playmaker, and again, I think we've talked about it, maybe Kelvin Beachum for the final 9 games. You just see if that makes any difference right now. Here's what I will say. Cardinals aren't trading Calais Campbell. Like they're gonna ride this out with Calais. He had 2 sacks on Monday Night Football. We barely got to talk about him, but the Cardinals are not subtracting when this team wants to keep their mojo going, even though Calais and guys like Jalen Thompson probably won't be back next year, you don't try to capture lightning in a bottle and mojo with a team and then cut their legs out from under them. So if they make any additions, we expect them to be additions here for PHNX Cardinals. Big reminder, we're going to be back with our live show tomorrow. Bo, you taking a red eye? What's going on?
I'm leaving first thing in the morning, 7 a.m. here, Dallas time. So I'll be back in the Valley by about 8. We got JG about 2:45 tomorrow afternoon.
Ooh, what are you doing? What airport you leaving out of?
DFW.
Gross. Okay.
And then
Get there early.
look, we'll maybe an emergency pod, but most likely we're live at 4:30 breaking down any deadline deal.
That's right. Hit that like button. Do us a favor. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. If you haven't already, please consider becoming a member of the Supporters Club. Click that join button. We had a banner night of content, pre-halftime, a post-game, and, of course, our watch-along. Thousands of live viewers across all 3 streams and the watch-along. Big thanks to everybody. Again, I ask you, click that subscribe if you have not already. This is your #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. We do live shows damn near every day. For BG, Bo Brack in Arlington, Texas, I'm Johnny Venerable. Big thanks to all of you. We'll see you on a Victory Monday. We'll see you, everybody. Take care.
Tuesday.
We all silly like the mayor.